Today on Sunday Live, the Brisbane Bears play host to Melbourne for only the second time at Carrara. The only other time these two teams have met at Carrara was in round 5 in 1987, and today the Bears will be hoping that history can repeat itself after getting up to win by 5 points. But the Demons could be a different proposition today. Ruck duo O'Dwyer and Steins will be desperate to start forward thrusts from the centre as Melbourne tries to hang on to the double chance.
And a very good afternoon, everyone. Once again, on a somewhat warm and humid afternoon here on the coast for a very important game between the Brisbane Bears and Melbourne. A little bit of history being created because this, for the moment, is the last day game here at Carrara. As you can see, the 6 banks of lights are up and are due to be tested all this week, and they will go on next Saturday night for the big game between Brisbane and Geelong. That will be seen live on the Australian television network next Saturday night. Don't forget to check your local TV guides for all the details. But back to today's game, as I said, it is a most important clash. The last time these two sides met was in fact under lights at the MCG in somewhat slippery conditions, and in not an overly inspiring match, Melbourne got up to take the points 11-13-79 to Brisbane 7-11-53. Once again on the boundary line here at Carrara, we have Bill McDonald, and he'll be keeping us up to date with everything that's happening not only in the rooms but out.
And so the scene is set for what should be a good game of football this afternoon in good conditions. As we've mentioned, it is overcast, it is a little humid, but both sides desperate for the 4 premiership points, and quite a good crowd has turned up here at Carrara this afternoon for this match, this being the last before the lights go on next Saturday night against Geelong, an historic night here on the Gold Coast. We'll take our first break. Brad Hardy there celebrating his 100th game today, and we'll return with all the action shortly. And so with the first bounce underway, it's Phoebe getting it across to Lyon, who kicks up towards half forward. Melbourne going to the left of screen. The Brisbane Bears going to the right after the Bears' Mark Micken won the toss. O'Keefe from half back kicks out towards Williams, who almost takes a fine mark. Peter Cameron, however, calls play on. It gives Stretch a chance to pick it up for the Demons. Stephen Stretch gets away from Mike Richardson, goes back in towards half forward once again, and just dropping back to take a solid mark is Mark Roberts. The Bears out of trouble. Back towards Rains, who's between half back and the centre. Plays on now. Kicks long, up towards half forward. Merritt taps on, but straight onto the chest of Johnson. Johnson goes wide to the outer side here at Carrara, looking for Eishold. Gets it up towards half forward. Wilson is there, coming to meet him, and the ball is Lester Smith. Could have almost been free kick, but Jackson plays on. Good looking pass in towards full forward. The mark is taken by Howard. He plays on. There's the first goal of the day, and it's been kicked by Gary Lyon.
She was slightly fortunate there in some ways, Sandy, because Rod Lester Smith left his opponent John Howard to attack the ball, got the ball forward, but well picked up by Ricky Jackson, with John Howard not chasing Lester Smith. He sat back, the pass came to Howard from Ricky Jackson. He was called play on by the umpire. He took a couple of steps forward, good handball to line, he just scraped it over the line, so a good start for Melbourne.
Thought he sussed it out pretty well. The angle was going to be tough if he'd have taken that kick, wasn't it, Ross?
Along the ground was the best way to go.
Yeah, tremendous opening there for Melbourne. They've kicked the first goal. And back in the centre, the veteran umpire Peter Cameron. O'Dwyer gets the tap out. A struggle for all players. Now the umpire, who is Goldspink, along with Peter Cameron, awards the free kick to Newport. Newport kicks it towards centre half forward. Reynoldson's read it pretty well, and Reynoldson takes the mark coming out from full back. Steve Reynoldson, his opponent for the afternoon at this stage anyway, is Jimmy Steins. The ball at the back. Lovett couldn't break clear. A struggle for possession, and the umpire will come in and bounce. Simon Eishold in the picture, and the lady there, I wonder if she's preparing it. Look, that'd have to be a Swans jumper, wouldn't it, if anything?
Knit one, pearl one.
Very interested spectator. Micken held on to when he went for that ruck contest, and Mark Micken takes the free kick. Nice long drop punt kick up towards the 50-metre line. No mark. White is the first one to recover. The kick close to the boundary line. Chance for Phoebe. Boundary line very close. Love it. A real struggle there, close to the line. Gastev. But the free kick has been picked out and it's going to Eyersholt. Couldn't quite see what that one was for, but Eyersholt.
Pate holding the ball against John Gastev.
Eyersholt takes the free kick, kicks it up towards half forward. It comes to the back. Wilson's a chance. Great recovery there by Wilson. Greg Healy, kick for goal, might bounce through. It will. Second goal to Melbourne.
So a great start by the Demons. Goals to Lyon and Healy as we go back to the centre again. O'Dwyer wins the tap, but it's his opposition who gets the kick out of the middle. Micken down towards half forward. White comes over the top, hammered forward once again. White in there doing the bullocking work. Stretch loses it. They pounce upon it. And umpire Peter Cameron very quickly in decides that he shall take control. Jamie Dersma comes up rubbing his head. The Bears have it almost on their 50-metre line. Micken wins it. He was down looking towards Dixon. Here's Grinter. Long to the outer side. O'Keefe spoils Dean. Wilson waits down. Across to Lyon. They look dangerous again, Melbourne. In towards half forward. Could be a collision here. Riding the bump was Brendan Phillips, and he did it beautifully as he gets away onto the left foot, kicks back up towards the centre. It eludes just about everyone. Dersma's at the back, gets the hand pass away. Healy finishes with it, 65 metres out. He pops it up towards half forward. Howard's the flyer, and he's got the mark.
It's a fine mark. Set himself well there, took a couple of steps back, then ran forward, read the fly the ball very, very well. And I'll tell you what, Greg Healy's opening up very well as he normally does and giving them plenty of life around the centre and the half-forward line.
John Howard, only a rookie, but looking for the Demons' third goal. He's a left-footer, flat-looking drop punt. Goal umpire has a good look and says, I'm sorry, one behind only.
With the reserves game earlier on, Sandy, there wasn't a lot of advantage given by the breeze. It's just drifting across the ground a little, so ideal conditions for football today. As Alex Oshenko's warming up on the boundary line for the Brisbane Bears.
Oshenko, one of two changes made by the Bears as Reynoldsson marks that kick out. The Bears bring it down towards centre wing, only to see it intercepted by Ricky Jackson, who pushes it back towards the left half forward flank again. Healy onto Phoebe. Phoebe shrugs the tackle, shoots in towards goal. This is going to be close, another behind.
Yes, and the other move, which is a good one by John Northey, is to play Sean White on Brad Hardy. Brad Hardy, of course, has been the main avenue to goal for the Brisbane Bears, and Sean White, very capable backman, has the job of picking up the 100-game player today, Brad Hardy.
I just saw Steve Reynoldson's hand pass there, Ross. Just too obvious, wasn't it? Going backwards to O'Sullivan.
Yes, the Melbourne players read that very easily.
So the Bears up on their full back line. The kick in towards Roberts. Roberts can't mark. Melbourne do the outnumbering. Brilliant pick up by Lyon. A kick in towards full forward. Richardson can't mark. He's quick to recover. Hand pass out to Rains, who usually kicks it a mile. This is no exception. Down towards the wing. Now a chance for Reynoldsson. Up from full back. A thumping kick inside 50 metres. Hardy. Great mark by Brad Hardy. Running with the flight of the ball. No. Umpire giving a free kick here. No. Thought he indicated that the ball was going in the other direction, but Brad Hardy will take a shot for goal from about 30 metres out. And what great hands as the 1985 Brownlow medalist playing his 100th game. The kick is close, it hits the post. The first score to the Bears, behind to Brad Hardy.
They'll need to pass the ball to Hardy as they did then, long but to his advantage. Sean White, very capable backman.
There's another 100-gamer, Danny Hughes. Coming over the top was Phoebe. And Stephen Phoebe will take it from halfback. He's got players running everywhere. He'll come towards the wing. Lyon being the obvious target. Close attention then from Roberts. Support from Dean down towards Stretch. The hand pass puts Healy under pressure. Play on will be the call. He gets it to Newport. In towards full forward. It goes over the top of Howard and is marked by Lester Smith as he brings it back and finds Dixon. Yushenko's just come onto the ground and is calling for it. Dixon takes his time, however. McIver goes back on the pack. It goes over the line. And Ishenko will contest this throw-in with Steve O'Dwyer. Roberts at the back. Hammers it once again over the line.
Bernie Harris, the other Brisbane Bears interchange player, has been joined by Mark Micken, who's came off the ground for Alex Ishenko to come on.
It's usually the ploy of Peter Knights as Roberts hand passes to Dixon. High floating kick towards half forward, no one home, and once again the mark is taken by Phoebe.
Big improver, this guy, over the last 5 weeks.
My word, he's played well. A lead from O'Dwyer. With him is Ishenko. Stretch over the back, but O'Dwyer has it. Good mark.
Should have punched Ishenko.
O'Dwyer looking for Steins. One grab, can't complete it. Reynoldson fists away, but straight to Lyon, who's in scintillating form. Oh, he pulls it back. He copped one from Ishenko. Gary Lyon, he's down. He's down behind play. We'll keep an eye on that as Healy picks it up. Has his kick smothered. Healy goes in again. Lyons in the hands of the trainers. Stretch gets the hand pass away. This time it comes across to Healy. They're mucking around with it on that half-forward line. O'Sullivan gets the hand pass out to Rains, and the Bears are out of trouble. A long kick up towards half-forward. Hardy has it fisted away. Racing pass was banged. Hardy does it beautifully. Oh, he might get legged. He does go to ground. Not before he gets it to McIver. Onto the left foot goes Scott McIver. A high kick in towards full forward. Waiting down is Sean White. It's a relieving kick down towards half back, and it's picked up by Newport.
Yes, they got out of that pretty well, the Demons, with teamwork. The ball comes wide to Lyon, who's recovered very, very well, Gary Lyon. It's great to see. A very fair player and a good player. Nearly gets caught, gets the hand pass away to O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer goes very direct, straight towards the front of the goal square. The contest is on there. Richardson can't gather the football. Helped out by Phillips. Phillips' short pass. Ishenko can't mark, and bang, down goes a Melbourne player.
Lyon again.
And I can't believe that. Umpire was watching it. So was Steve O'Dwyer.
The umpire was about 2 feet in front of him.
Unbelievable. Boundary umpire wasn't far away. Peter Cameron's come in with the pencil, and I'm sure... Well, Peter Cameron saw what happened.
Well, it certainly fired a few players up.
No, that was terrible. That.
I think a number has been taken. He has turned the jumper round of Alex Ishenko, and I think he is now going to inform Gary Lyon that perhaps a number has been taken. Yes, he has. So it would appear as though Alex Ishenko has been reported.
Actually, it's amazing. Sandy, the most senior umpire, picked all that. The boundary umpire missed it, and the other field umpire missed it.
Yep.
I don't know if they missed it, or they just were not prepared to make that decision to actually report the player.
Well, Lyons away. He gets clear and booms one in towards full forward. It's wide, however, and is marked by Lester Smith in the back pocket.
So the Bears defender, Lester Smith, taking a fairly well-judged mark in that back pocket. Elects to go long, out towards centre-half back. Eishold, hand pass towards Dean. He's bumped off the football pretty solidly. Some tough stuff going on there in close. Rains ducks ahead, and the umpire elects that that's a free kick to Jeff Rains. And he takes it, kicks it 45 to 50 metres back in towards the centre, and a good mark taken there by Lovett. He gets the hand pass back to Johnson. Johnson's kick wide is tremendous to the advantage of his teammates. Out there wide, Stretch takes it. He and Newport raffled it. Newport eventually got the hand pass. Back to Stretch, back to Newport. And the Demons doing it pretty easily. Up towards full forward. And a great mark taken by Wilson. Only 25 metres out directly in front. It's all Melbourne.
They did that well then, didn't they? Both Stretch and Newport just sharing the ball, making sure that they made the Brisbane Bears player, should I say, Dixon. As we see Ishenko coming off the ground and Micken back on. No doubt Peter Knight's letting Alex Ishenko know that he just was not happy at all with that action earlier on.
So Wilson, real chance now for the Demons' third. Drop punt kick straight through the centre.
It was a good mark there by Brian Wilson.
Out of the centre, it's Micken who got it away initially, but Melbourne through Lovett go down towards Newport once again under pressure from Richardson. At the back is Wilson. He's got Healy short, bounces off his chest. Healy recovers, back to Wilson, danger, he'll have another shot. 40 metres out, he's kicked another one. Melbourne are on fire.
Well, again, Stephen Newport stretching the play. Newport getting that ball out with a fine tap to Wilson, who elected to just sit tight and wait for a lead to come out. He was kicking the ball to a lead further down, but in fact intercepted by Greg Healy. And he was quick enough to get the ball back to Wilson. He got a quick kick away under pressure from Micken, and a very good result for Melbourne.
They're playing pretty well, Ross, aren't they? They're moving in numbers, and they look a bit slicker at this stage than the Bears.
Well, the Bears' backline look a little bit miffed at the moment, Ian. They don't know who they're playing on at the moment.
So the bounce back in the centre gives the advantage to Stones, and he thumps it further forward. Gathered by Newport. A poor tackle by Roberts, and Newport takes the free kick. So Melbourne will go into attack again. Good looking kick by Newport up towards full forward. No mark taken. Punch away. Now Dixon kicks off the ground for the Bears, close to the boundary line. The hand pass goes back to Phillips. Phillips very deliberate. Gets it off now to Sim. Sim's kick in towards centre back. Oh, what a fantastic mark taken by Newport. Had to sit, but still took the mark. Short pass in towards Dean. It's punched away. Oh, Richardson ran into a barrage. Down he went, but he gets the free kick. And Mike Richardson could kick the Bears out of trouble from centre half back. Kick wide, out towards the wing. Play on, says umpire Cameron. Goes to the back where Gastev tidies up. Left foot kick in towards full forward. Hardy. It's 55 metres from goal. The left foot kick round towards centre half forward. But he seemed to pick out Danny Hughes, and the big Melbourne fullback takes the mark. He plays on. Kicks it wide out towards half back. A little too far, but Dersba's there to tidy up. He's a good player, Jamie Dersba. Great to see him back in the Melbourne side. Up towards the centre wing, maybe slightly forward of centre wing, where Dean takes the mark for the Demons. Again, another good player, Warren Dean. Spent a lot of time out of the game. He's kicked towards centre half forward. And there's the Brownlow medal favourite for 1989, Gary Lyon, marking just inside 50 metres.
He's been in everything, Ian, hasn't he?
Tremendous and very agile.
And I wouldn't have Mark Roberts playing on him.
Now, he's a bit too, well, he's just a little too good, I would think. Gary Lyon, a brilliant player, goes for the torpedo punt kick. It wobbles. Is that a mark? It's been paid. In front.
Yeah, it's got to be a mark.
Long arms.
Yeah, got to be a mark.
Big long arms of Steve O'Dwyer.
Yes, the ball dropping forward short from that wobbly punt from Gary Lyon, and the Brisbane Bears players expecting the kick to go longer.
O'Dwyer's kick looks okay. It's another goal to Melbourne.
31 points is the margin, and the Demons have really started in hot style from the middle once again. Tap to Raines. The Bears want a couple of quick goals. McIver, a fine mark. In towards half forward. Out comes Merritt. Can he get there? Not quite, but he's going to be given it.
Change again, Micken off and Oshenko back on.
Would you have paid that?
No.
Oh, it definitely wasn't a mark. The umpire has to have seen something in it, surely. Merritt.
Still, the umpire had the advantage being on the ground.
Spoken like a true Brownlow medalist.
So, Roger Merritt looking for the Bears first. And he comes with the drop punt. Might have got there, I think. There's the first one for the Bears.
Well, you take all the luck you can in today's game of football and any sort of sport, and Roger Merritt slightly fortunate there from our perspective here. It did appear as if the ball hit the ground. As we mentioned, the umpire is always right, and he finished off well. And playing at full forward, perhaps more suited to Danny Hughes than any other player, but he complements Brad Hardy, who's the mobile player on the forward line for the Brisbane Bears. And Roger Merritt will always be dangerous. Not as mobile as he used to be when he was playing at centre half forward, but certainly Scott McIver will do a good job there for them today.
Warwick Kappa we saw earlier in the day playing in the reserves, keeping a close eye on the seniors. Centre bounce once again. Oshenko, as Ian said, back on the ground, but it's Healy who sends Melbourne forward. Only as far as Reynoldsson, however. Hand passes to Richardson. Brings it out wide in front of O'Keefe. It sits nicely for him. David O'Keefe is away, running the boundary line. He kicks up towards half forward. McIver's behind this time, is forced on the defensive. Williams almost too long, but he's a terrier, Mark Williams. Goes in again. McIver, who brings it out to Bain. Merritt on the lead, but he won't get there this time. At the back is Hughes, and he comes away with a sweeping hand pass to Lyon. Gary Lyon is all on his own. Merritt is the only one chasing. Merritt is down at centre-half back now as Lyon centres the ball in towards half-forward. Waiting down in front is Roberts. Also there is Eishold. Almost tackled too high, but he ducked. Wilson has kicked two. Claimed by Gastev, and he's lost it.
Ryan Wilson just hanging that ball a little too long. Wanted to kick another goal. Good tackle there by John Gastev.
Yeah, pretty straightforward decision too for the umpire. Bain's kick goes in towards the centre. O'Sullivan over to Reynoldsson. Reynoldsson gets past Steins, and Steve Reynoldsson, nice left foot kick too, up towards centre half forward. Dersmer a big punch. Good gather there by Grinter, but he's well tackled by Williams, and umpire Cameron very, very close on the scene, and he will come in and bounce. Right on the 50-metre line for the Bears, Mark Williams. Very much a player to burrow in on packs. Steins, kick back in towards the centre. Gathered by Gastev is good. Out wide, goes to O'Keefe. O'Keefe's kick, long towards half forward. Hardy led the flight of the ball pretty well, Brad Hardy. 100 gamer. Kicked a bundle of goals against Fitzroy here a couple of weeks ago. Drop punt kick is long. Right into the square. Was that punched on the line? Just by the look of it. And it's through for a behind to the Bears. So they're 1-2. Demons 5-2. And Melbourne off to a very, very quick start in a pretty important game for them.
As the margin is 24 points. Favouring the Demons. Stretch buffeted out by Dixon. Giving Rains the run of the football. Almost claimed on the line.
Yes, playing the free kick, Sandy.
Free kick. Going the way of Melbourne. And it'll be taken by Stephen Stretch. As John Northey gets on the phone. Melbourne coach sees Stretch kick up towards half forward. At the bottom is Bain. Gets a wobbly kick in towards the centre. Fisted back towards Steins. Ricochets off his foot and he gets crunched. And will be free kick. Big Jim. Another one many consider may poll well in the Brownlow. Steins to half forward. Ishenko over the back. No one waiting down in front for the Bears, and it's Healy who spears it out in front of O'Dwyer. Coming to lend assistance is Dean. The ball is taken over the line, and we'll see another throw-in.
Greg Healy might lack a little bit of pace, but he certainly puts himself in great position when there's marking contest and ruck work, doesn't he?
Yes, and young Marcus Ashcroft off the ground for the Bears, and Bernie Harris coming on.
Talking about Greg Healy, snaps for goal. It's close. Through for a behind.
Sorry, and I was going to say I'd be inclined if I was Peter Knights to move Steve Reynoldsson onto Gary Lyon and put Mark Roberts back onto the wrestling ruckman.
He's going to be a real problem, I think, Gary Lyon. He's in great form. Kick in by Phillips, straight up the ground. No one home there for the Bears. And Steins takes a pretty easy mark. Steins, good-looking kick into the pocket. Great mark, taken by Dean. And Ross, it's a big plus. They've certainly needed someone else up there as an option, haven't they? With, say, if Lyon is covered, now Dean is...
Without doubt, yeah, certainly complements those other players.
Dean's shot for goal. Just drifts across to the left and misses. So the fourth behind on the scoreboard. 5-4 plays 1-2.
And Warren Dean, of course, has played a lot of his football at centre-half forward for Subiaco in Perth. Came to Melbourne and played on the wing. But certainly can play centre-half forward very well.
O'Keefe at half back in towards the centre. A bit of pushing and shoving going on there. Scott McIver will take it. Sim wanted to go on with it, but McIver will have to go back and kick over the man on the mark. Up to half forward, and the mark taken by Phillips. Oh, that's a good long kick by Brendan Phillips, deep in towards full forward. Merritt almost interfered with. The short kick may finish with Bain. Here's a chance, but he kicks it high. Hardy underneath it. White comes over the top. Williams claim. They pounce upon it. Peter Cameron keeping a close eye on proceedings until he decides he's had enough, and we'll have a bounce. Alex Sashenko's had his ups and downs today.
They'll be giddy, those guys, won't they?
Going backwards and forward, yes. O'Dwyer pitches it down, picked up by Sim. Hurried shot in towards full forward. No one at home, however, and the mark taken by Sean White. White goes in the last line of defence with Alan Johnson, another fine player. Johnson's kick out in front of Stretch, who's in front of Dixon, but the boundary line beats him. So another throw-in.
Peter Knights is obviously concerned about having too many big men on the ground, so he's interchanging Shenko and Micken off the bench.
So boundary throw-in, up over the top, O'Dwyer, big punch. Dixon gathers well. Tackle by Stretch is ineffective. Dixon's kick towards the half-forward area. O'Dwyer can't mark. Gets the hand pass out wide to Grinter. Grinter now running with the ball. Kicks it in towards the centre. Now the race is on. Good gather there by O'Sullivan. Gets it to Lester Smith. Lester Smith goes back. Now the hand pass to Sim. O'Sullivan rather. Now Lester Smith finishes up with it. Up towards half-forward. Williams! Oh, what a great mark.
Oh, Mark, it really was.
Williams in towards centre half-forward. Great mark by Melbourne. Dersma in front. Strong in front of McIver. Sweeping hand pass. Grinter's in trouble. Gets the hand pass away to Newport. You'll be caught. No, he won't. Eishold. What brilliant teamwork by Melbourne. Finishes up with Lovett. Lovett up towards centre half forward. Coming out strong as Reynoldson. Good interception by Dean. Back onto the left foot, Warren Dean. Sloppy kick. Interception now by Reynoldson. Rebound football off to Micken. Micken nearly in the centre. Gives it to a player standing still, Bernie Harris. The kick by Harris is wide, and the mark has been taken by Bain. He gets the hand pass over the top. Dixon will be caught. He gets the hand pass out to McIver. McIver slips the tackle, and with a neat little right foot kick, finds Bernie Harris just inside the 50-metre line.
The Bears got the ball down there because of one lackadaisical kick from Warren Dean. Very sloppy there. There is a problem with his game. He does tend to be a bit casual.
And Harris finds a loose player further afield in McIver. So McIver, most definitely Bernie Harris would have struggled from where he was. But McIver, a chance from about 35 to 40 metres out. Perhaps a little closer. Bears 1-2, Demons 5 goals 4. McIver's drop punt is there. Second goal, no. 1-3 plays 5-4, and we've got 2 minutes left in this first quarter.
So it will be Danny Hughes to bring it back into play. Phoebe, 1-2 grabs, and it's his. Well, he got over the top of O'Dwyer and Micken on that occasion. And has had a good first quarter. Wide, looking for Lovett. Doesn't find him, but he does have support in Howard. Down towards Healy. On to Wilson. Rides the bump nicely. Then drifts play into the pocket. Lyon uses the body. Still going Lyon. Oh, he was pulled off the ball when he didn't have it. Roberts now over the boundary line. And a throw in Melbourne's left forward pocket. And I think Gary Lyon may be asking the question.
Good example there where a player should have tackled, not bumped, when Mike Richardson put some pressure on Brian Wilson.
Howard over the top. Wins the tap, but can't take it away. It's Rains who kicks into the centre. Waiting at the back was Dersma. In front, Gazdev. On to McIver. Can go wide to Dixon or longer. Elects to go longer. White chances his arm. Doesn't get a good bounce. Hardy has Harris running past. Into Bain. He can go over the top. He does. What will the bounce be like for Merritt? It's okay. Here's his second.
19 points the advantage for the Demons. 5-4, 2-3 the Bears. And both the Bears' goals coming through their full forward Roger Merritt. as Ischenko prepares to come back onto the field. Good bounce there in the centre by the central umpire. O'Dwyer gets the ball back. No one can break. Steins, good gather by Richardson. Richardson's kick towards the half-back area. Standing his ground well as O'Sullivan. The hand pass a little too fierce there for Sim. But umpire Cameron sees an infringement against the Melbourne player. And the free kick will go to Chris O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan's kick towards centre wing. And a good mark taken by Bain. Gastev running into that half-forward area. The kick goes up towards Hardy. Melbourne have the numbers. The ball comes now with Lovett. Lovett's hand pass back finds Newport. Johnson, there's the siren to end the first quarter. And at quarter time, the Demons lead by 19 points. 5-4-34. The Bears 2-3-15.
Yes, they had their share of the football, Sam, just didn't use it as well as the Melbourne Football Club did.
Right, let's see what happens in the second quarter. 15 plays 34. O'Dwyer comes over the top, but it's Williams who takes it away for the Bears. Down towards Bernie Harris, fisted away by Grinter. Wilson is at the bottom, trying to shovel it out, can't do so. Will be a free kick, and it will go the way of Lovett. So Lovett wide to Sean White. White, a floating punt kick up towards O'Dwyer. At the back is Howard, and he marks some 65 to 70 metres out. In towards the pocket he goes. Phoebe is there, and he takes the mark. Stephen Phoebe. Be interesting to see what he can do from there. Some 45 metres out on a pretty tight angle. But he's a right footer. Pretty good looking kick too in towards goal. As he kicked it, he has. Great start.
Well, again, the Melbourne players giving their teammates some options up forward. Plenty of movement on the forward line as the ball came out of the centre. 3 or 4 players going in different directions, and the Brisbane Bears backman having plenty of trouble. But Stephen Phoebe's been a very fine player, as Ed Robertson mentioned earlier on. Great contributor the last few weeks. Showed his versatility there, kicking a very good goal.
Yes, Phoebe, the 6th goal for the Demons. 6-4 plays 2-3. And the bounce favours O'Dwyer, but a big punch there by Ischenko. Now Harris in towards full forward, centre half forward, and Hardy takes the mark. Hardy's kick, Bain on his own. Well, I think John Northey would be asking some questions there.
Yes, very loose play there by Alan Johnson, allowing Bain to get away from him. Brad Hardy, I thought, might have had a shot from goal. He's elected to pass across the ground. Fortunately, it was a very good kick.
So Bain a chance. Drop punt kick is very accurate. 3rd goal to the Bears.
Well, the general consensus in Brisbane at the moment is that if Brisbane Bears' best and fairest count was held now, that David Bain would more than likely win it. He's had a very fine season in his inaugural season with the Bears. Brad Hardy here showing his skills, kicking the ball low trajectory style across the ground and finding David Bain in space, who finished off with a good kick. Very mobile player is David Bain. It's been very good for Brisbane Bears around the centre and around the ground. Can run all day. It's good pace.
So we go back to the centre. And this is where it's all happening. When Melbourne get the ball out, they seem to be able to kick goals. On the other hand, if the Bears happen to get it out, and here they come again, Raines can't quite control the football. They get it out through Gastev. Gastev's kick towards half forward, the mark to Hardy. And Hardy proving a bit of a handful for Sean White. Hardy's kick towards full forward. It's over the back. Big punch by Hughes. The advantage now with the Demons. Lovett. A little flip out the back. Kick off the ground by Stretch. Goes back in the direction of O'Sullivan. He can't control it. Now a chance for McIver. He's hemmed in beautifully. Sim gets it out to Williams. Williams, a shot for goal from a long way out. It'll drop in short. Really a mark to Merritt. He flips it out the back. It's hurried through for a behind by Sean White.
I would have thought, Ian, that Mark Williams would have passed then to John Gastiff, who's in space. Would have had a perfect opportunity to have a better shot at goal.
Some of the Bears reserves players looking on. Stretch gets up high, can't take the mark. Mackay will leave it for Dixon. Stabs it back in towards full forward. There are two Melbourne players, Stretch and O'Dwyer, appear to have collided with one another. Both out on their stomachs on the ground as Johnson brings it away to Steins. They are in trouble, those two boys. Steins sending Melbourne forward, up towards Gary Lyon. At the back is Howard. Gets the hand pass away to Eichhold. A short little chip meant for Dean goes into the pocket. Chasing him is Roberts, but he gets the hand pass away. Now Jackson, another one in towards Wilson.
A good play there by Melbourne. They got themselves in a bit of trouble with the kick coming down to Dean. Pushed him right into the pocket, but he steadied well enough to see Jackson, who spotted Wilson in a more central position. And Wilson now has a chance to have a shot for his third goal.
Stretch and O'Dwyer both back up on their feet. But Stretch moving a little gingerly as Wilson shoots towards goal, and he's popped through another one. So the Demons kick clear again by 4 goals. Back in the middle, the bounce is not a good one. Lovett gets a hurried kick down towards half forward. Difficult one for Howard to mark. Lester Smith gets it out to Rains. Jeffrey Rains, a lovely kicker of a football. Wide to the right half forward flank. Chasing is Williams, McIver. Phoebe is also there, and so too Dersma. And it's Dersma who gets the hand pass away. Harris is the only one there, however. Does it well for the Bears along the boundary line. In towards Hardy. And Brad Hardy has certainly got the better of Sean White at the moment.
Stretch off the ground too as a result of that clash with O'Dwyer. Sandy and Tingay is on the field on centre wing.
Brad Hardy, game number 100. Looking for his first goal of the day on a very tight angle. He kicks in towards the square. Oh, the flyer over the top was to no avail. Steins came away with it, but David Bain, who's probably the shortest player on the ground, used the pack like a stepladder. Hughes to Eichhold, who can run on. To centre wing, Gary Lyon. Chasing is O'Keefe. Lyon does well as he goes up towards the right half forward flank, and the mark is taken by Howard. John Howard. As Ishenko comes off, Micken goes back on. Dean tries to get the hand pass away. It was Tingay who getting his first touch since coming on. Wide to Jackson. Lovett does the shepherding, but his chip pass meant for Wilson was just a little too high and goes out of bounds in the left forward pocket.
Gee, I was rapt to see Tingay get a touch there. He ran the whole length of the ground, didn't he, Ross?
Did, and
eventually got one hand pass out of it. Maybe they didn't use him as well as they could have. O'Dwyer's thump out the back. Here's a chance now for Bain. Goes off to Phillips. Phillips's kick out wide. Micken can't mark. It's close to the line. Now it goes over, and we'll have a boundary throw in about 65 to 70 metres around from the Melbourne goal. Micken. Big Jim Steins. Steins doing the ruck work. O'Dwyer still perhaps recovering a little bit from that knock. Stretch off the field. Dean throws himself on it. Chance for Lovett. His hand passed through the legs. Gives Phoebe the chance. Phoebe's kick towards full forward, but coming out well as Lester Smith, and he plays on quickly. Kicks the ball back to where the Phoebe kick came from. A big punch, and it goes over for a boundary throw in. 7-4 the Demons. The Bears 3-5 as we have a look at the interchange bench there. Interestingly, a winger came off. Graham Yates, a natural winger, didn't come on. But still, Tingay given the chance. Now Gastiff breaks away for the Bears. Gets the hand pass over to Richardson. Richardson's kick towards centre half forward. There's a bit of holding on by both players. Umpire lets play go on. Johnson kicks it wide. Lyon, hand pass over the top. Now a chance for O'Keefe. His hand pass a little too fierce there for Gastiff, but O'Keefe goes after it again. There's no one home at half forward. Johnson's there for Melbourne, but the bounce is very ordinary for that player. Hughes picks it up and kicks it back towards the wing. The bounce certainly favours Harris. He can't do much with it, and he punches it towards the boundary line for safety. We'll have a boundary throw in. Half forward flank for the Bears, about 2 kicks from their goal. They trail 3-5, Demons 7-4.
Steins and Micken lock arms. So it was McIver who came over the top. Jackson gets it out to Steins. Kicks up towards Healy. Couldn't quite take it on the half volley. Phillips pushes it forward well. Gets the hand pass onto Richardson. On then to Rains. And the Bears look good as they go up towards Williams, who has to do it from behind. McIver scouts the pack. Shrugs the tackle beautifully. The short chip in towards Merritt. Will he keep it in play? He may, but White claims him. Holds him when he hasn't got the football. And the free kick will go the way of Roger Merritt.
See, they're lucky again. The disposal of them was poor. Merritt was miles clear. He also had Hardy in the square. But the kick astray, it just makes it so much more difficult for your teammate there.
So Roger Merritt kicked 2 in the first quarter. He's having a look. But there's nothing short offering. Now he comes back and he finds his captain in Mark Micken.
It was the right play to do. His angle there, Sandy, was far too difficult, particularly being a right footer. And Mark Micken gave himself space. The kick was the correct one to do.
Will he kick the distance?
I think he will from there, Ian, yes.
Yeah. Some 40 metres. He'll certainly get the distance. Has he got the accuracy? No. One behind only as the Bears move to 3-6. Trailing Melbourne 7-4. Hughes again. Straight down the middle. Steins is the target. Oh, and a good mark by Jim Steins. Short to Grinter, who centres it, looking for Lyon. And he is a star. This one. Gary Lyon to half forward, looking for Dean, finds him just inside 50. Now Warren Dean is a long kick of a football. He gets it straight through the middle. What a goal!
So Warren Dean's first goal, the Demons' 8th. Micken gets the tap out. Kick by Dersma. Covers 35 metres up towards centre half forward. Dean the first to recover from the marking contest. Dean around the corner, not a bad kick either. Towards centre half forward proper. Now a chance for the Bears to get clear through Gastev. His kick is okay. It finds Rains in the centre. Now Rains running up towards centre half forward. Thumps it towards full forward. It drifts back, but White coming out has read it a bit better than Hardy, and White takes the mark. He plays it out towards half back. The bounce favours Steins. He gathers pretty well, and little David Bain against Jimmy Steins and Alan Johnson. What a battle he had on his hands. Johnson's kick is perfect into the centre, and Wilson takes the mark in front of Phillips. Hand pass off, Jackson fumbles. Bad play by the Melbourne Rover. Wilson gathers pretty well. Gets the hand pass off to Phoebe. Good play, up towards full forward go the Demons. No mark, Lyon. And hit his teammate on the foot there in Howard. And it goes over the boundary line in the right forward pocket for a throw-in.
Clever play by Brian Wilson in the centre there to retrap that ball with Ricky Jackson fumbling initially.
Micken off. Mischenko doing the ruck work in the back pocket. Struggle now for the Bears' defence. They're under a lot of pressure and they rush behind for Melbourne, and this could get them out of some sort of trouble. Real danger looming there for the Bears, and the Demons irrepressible. 8-5, plays 3-6, and we've got 14 minutes left in the second quarter.
Rod Lester-Smith brings it back into play. Steins edged out. Dixon having to go over the top to try and spoil, and in doing so infringes upon Stephen Newport. And he'll kick from 55 metres. Don't know whether he fancies his chances. I have a feeling he does. It's a long kick into the square. Who's waiting down in front? Sim couldn't take it, but he's got plenty of support. The hand pass from Phillips goes to Roberts. He kicks to the half back line, and now the chance for the Bears to get out of strife as Dale Dixon goes to Mark Williams, just on the defensive side of centre wing. Williams, a former Port Adelaide and Collingwood captain. Roberts has it tapped on. He goes towards Ischenko, who'll run into trouble. Dersma does it well. Gives it across to Johnson. A little chip because he saw Healy out the corner of his eye. Runs into Dixon, but he held the football long enough.
Courageous mark, Sandy.
Stretch comes back out onto the ground and replaces Lovett. Newport again. Oh, good kick. Again, he saw the player loose. Phillips was very late on the scene, and Simon Eichhold on his own. He's kicking from just about right on the 50-metre line. And kicks long. In towards full forward. Has it got the distance? Has it got the accuracy? One behind only. Brett Lovett having a spell.
State player 1 week. Next week you're on the bench. It's not a bad go, is it?
Roberts on the back pocket, looking for Gaster. Tingay got in front and just pushed it down towards Dean, who immediately propels it back in towards full forward once again. Caught at the back was Eichhold, could have almost lost it, but Peter Cameron comes in and decides that he'll take charge.
Yes, Eichhold a little fortunate there. The play is only about 25 metres from the Melbourne goal. Umpire Cameron, Ischenko gets it down. Newport can't gather it. The ball comes clear now to Rains. And the Bears out of trouble through Jeffrey Rains up towards centre-half forward. Nearly the mark to Bain. Dersma overruns it, but he got some help there from Phoebe. Johnson running up from full back line. Kicks it back towards centre-half forward. Now a chance. Good play by Steins. The tap-on was looking for Lyon. Now Jackson in the pocket. Goes for goal. No, great play, Ricky Jackson. Vision was perfect. Eichhold takes the mark. And the angle ever so better now for the Demons.
Very clever play initially by Jim Steins to tap the ball through, and then to Gary Lyon to push it out for Ricky Jackson to his advantage, and a fine kick.
So Eichhold punts for goal and punts truly. So some pretty unselfish play there by Ricky Jackson, giving the opportunity to Eichhold to kick a pretty easy goal. Back in the centre, Newport can't take it out. Now the Bears go forward, up towards centre-half forward. Chance there for Harris, but his kick is smothered by Dersma. Dersma kicks it out wide to the wing. There was no one really home there. Dixon beautifully tackled by Tingay. The ball will run free. Greg Healy's going to swoop on it. He can get the hand pass back to Tingay. The bounce a little fortunate, but great play by Tingay. Can he get the ball out to the back to Newport? Yes, Newport's hand pass. A little bit of slow motion stuff, but Wilson goes straight towards goal. And a good mark taken by Lester Smith. He gets the hand pass out to O'Keefe. O'Keefe now, back it goes. Oh, look, they're zigzagging all over the place. Really wasting the ball. Phillips, now he gets it out more direct. Harris goes too wide, far too wide. The mark has been taken by Rains. Over the top to Lester Smith, who's come up from full back. Lester Smith in short finds McIver. McIver's got a player in support. It's Hardy. He'll be tackled by Johnson. No, he gets the ball away. Now a chance for Bain. Is that in the back? No, umpire Cameron calls play on. Stretches kick out wide. A little too far for Dersma. But Dersma's pretty strong and bustling. Jamie Dersma gets the long hand pass back down towards the wing. There was a player held. Lyon picks it up. The short kick out towards the half-forward area. Now Melbourne come clear through Jackson. Jackson's kicked to full forward. No mark to Howard. Richardson repels. Hand pass out to Gastev. Gastev's short kick, and the mark has been taken there by Sim.
Lockie Sim will have to be quick. He's not quick enough. Steins claimed him from 50 metres. He lets one go, but Richardson is the only one there. And he takes the mark. Pushes wide to accommodate Reynoldsson. Steve Reynoldsson, a couple of bounces, then his kick is not a good one. Merritt will do it with one hand. Runs his full distance, then goes in towards half forward. White will come over the top, but he almost spoiled his own man on that occasion. O'Sullivan got it through to McIver. McIver from 50 metres doesn't know what to do, gets round onto the left foot, but he's run too far.
Yes, he was waiting for Brad Hartley to be able to break away from Stephen Stretch, but Stretch covered him very well. And his hesitation took too many steps. A good decision by the umpire.
Just under 9 minutes of this second term remaining. Richardson over the top with an effective spoil. Pushing down to O'Keefe, who gets clear, goes in towards Hardy again. With him is White. Hardy playing in front. And he's tough to beat when he's playing in front. This time The boundary line beats him. Looks as though the Bears are going to make a double change here. Sim comes off and Ashcroft goes on, and Mark Mickett is preparing to replace Ishenko.
Promising player is young Ashcroft. The ball in the forward pocket for the Bears. Kick off the ground gives Newport a chance. Well tackled by Bain. Ball spills free, and a real struggle there. Danny Hughes over the top. And that wasn't all that careful by Danny Hughes, but umpire Cameron pretty close to the action. He'll bounce 45 metres from the Bears' goal. O'Dwyer gets it back. Grinter tries to flip it out to the advantage of Wilson. Throwing himself on the ball was Merritt. In there is Harris. Harris's kick has been marked by Phoebe. So Phoebe, perhaps the leading possession gatherer at this stage. Kick high towards the wing. Big punch away. Now the race is on. Chance there for Lyon. His short kick was great. Gave Stretch the opportunity. Stretch with a bit of space.
Whoops.
Oh, he's lost it, I think. Chance to get it back again. Recovery was pretty good. In towards the pocket. Punch away by Gastev's good play. Gastev grabbed around the neck by Healy. And Johnny Gastev perhaps telling Greg Healy that he didn't like that high tackle, and he'll take the free kick at half-back for the Brisbane Bears. His kick goes out towards centre wing. No mark taken. McIver 1 against 4. Jackson gets it out to Lyon. Look at so many demon jumpers there. Lyon's kick in towards full forward. Gastev punches away from Dean. Here comes Ishchenko. He gets the hand pass back to Gastev. And Gastev's kick is close to the line. It goes over for a boundary throw-in at left half forward for the Demons. And in this quarter, they've perhaps struggled a little bit. The Bears have held them back. 9-6 plays, 3-6. We've got just 6.5 minutes left in this second quarter.
From the throw-in, the Demons trying to go forward again, but it's Williams stopping that attack. His hand pass was meant for O'Keefe. It was a little too wide. And so another throw-in on that outer side. 9-6 plays 3-6. Micken still waits for Ishenko, who's in the action now. Rains at the bottom. Pulled off the ball by Simon Eishold.
The Bears really need a couple of goals, Sandy, going into this half-time break, don't they? Just to keep in touch.
Yep, 6 down is certainly a big ask, but it's not out of the question. Conditions are very good. In fact, it's almost a little humid, and this time the kick has been plucked out of that to try and clear the mess. O'Keefe wide to Reynolds. Even wider to Gastev. They've almost gone backwards. Now Roberts sweeps it wide. That was a very good hand pass across to Dixon, who got it to Richardson. Back again to Dixon. He's at the 50-metre line. It goes short to Harris and it's gone.
Well, it's the best thing Mark Roberts has done today. Very fine handball there to set his players up. And Bernie Harris nailed the shot at goal.
The zigzagging there, Ross, was terrific to just keep possession and eventually get the ball to Harris to have this easy shot.
There's the kick from Bernie Harris. He's made no mistake.
Melbourne lead by 5 goals, close to half-time. 9-6 plays 4-6. Now a chance for Wilson. Stretch. Wilson gets the hand pass back towards centre half forward. Greg Healy. Into an open goal goes Greg Healy with a long kick. Right on the line. The mark has been taken by Lester Smith. Rod Lester Smith usually gives his all. This kick, a little too short. And Lyon, not too keen on the Reynoldson tackle. Gary Lyon.
He's been a bit of a target today, hasn't he?
Yep.
Peter Cameron, very experienced campaigner. Hardly have I ever seen Peter Cameron rattled.
And the same goes for Gary Lyon too.
The Gary Lyon is about 45 metres from goal on a 45-degree angle. Magnificent looking kick if it's long enough. It's there.
Well, that's the only way to reply to those sort of tactics employed by the opposition, as Graham Yates comes in to remonstrate with Steve Reynolds for that act that he didn't think was quite right.
And they're coming from everywhere now.
Having a little friendly Tate, the boys, aren't they?
Yeah.
Show
It's
of
around
strength.
a honeypot, the way they all slowly converged.
That's the sort of camaraderie and team spirit that a coach likes, but not really effective in that situation. You're better off just getting on with the game and targeting the football.
And the bottom line of it all is that Gary Lyon kicks his second, and once again the Demons open up an ascendancy of some 6 goals.
Yes, every time the Bears come forward and score, albeit 4 goals, Melbourne are far better in reply with a couple.
So back in the centre with just on 3.5 minutes remaining. And in ruck, Stynes up against Micken. One by Micken, getting it down to Harris, who can't get clear. Shoveled out, wider of Merritt, who missed Newport, or did he miss him? I don't think he did miss him. He's in a spot of bother behind play. Stretch up to the half-forward line. Line again. He is in sensational form. Short to Healy.
The beauty there, Sandy, of Gary Lyon, disposal on both sides of the body. He's had 2 or 3 very good left foot kicks today, all to the advantage of his teammate.
So captain Greg Healy.
Newport still in the hands of the trainers behind play too, Sandy, as a result of that knock that you mentioned.
Healy looking for his second. He kicked 1 in the first term. Distance will really test him. In fact, he's really gone for distance and has pulled it a little, finishing with 1 behind. So 10-7 plays 4-6, favouring the Demons. Rains now does it nicely. Has Brendan Phillips coming past. He sweeps the wide hand pass to McIver. Calling for it again is Phillips, who's run right down the ground up towards half forward. Johnson comes over the top. Oh, Dersma gets clean ball. Roberts sweeping it towards Gastev. Gastev almost gave away the free kick on that occasion, but he gets it across to Dixon, who goes into the pocket and finds Brad Hardy.
Gee, Sean White conceded ground there very easily to Brad Hardy. Mark Roberts coming to centre half forward. Scott McIver going to the back line.
So Hardy still looking for his first goal. Has his family here today from Western Australia. And that one too has gone across the face of goal. It's thumped wide towards Stephen Stretch, who can bounce his way through the half-back line, down towards centre wing, out in front of Eishold and Dixon. It's the latter who wins out, brings the Bears back into attack again. But Dersma, with strength and courage, goes through. On to Newport, who seems to have recovered. Back to Dersma, up towards the half-forward line. Healy and Phillips. Phillips was held by the leg. The advantage is paid, and his free kick is marked again by Simon Eishold. On to Wilson, who does it like a Brownlow medalist. Newport goes down again. Phoebe goes short to Healy. They're almost playing with it, but this time he's got pink.
Tell you what, they're Lairising. The last few minutes,
Yep.
Lairising.
Yes, they certainly are. And a change by John Northey. Brett Lovett on to Brad Hardy, and Sean White off.
So between the centre and centre half forward position for Melbourne, with just half a minute left in this second quarter, the umpire will ball it up. O'Dwyer and Micken jostling for position to contest this ruck knockout. Now a chance for Tingay. Tingay's high left foot kick is there. Magnificent kick.
Great kick on his left foot. Very confident, deliberate kick at goal. And a lifter not only for his side, but for himself. He's come onto the ground, onto the wing. And he's a very good prospect, is Stephen Tingay.
They've got a few, haven't they, Ross?
They have.
With Phoebe improving, Tingay, Howard,
Yes.
a couple of others in the reserves that we've
Beveridge.
seen. Young Beveridge and another young fellow that
Kavanagh.
played in the early game, the game earlier, John. I can't think of his name now. John Ahern, a tall
Yes.
fellow.
Yeah.
And if these guys keep improving, Melbourne have got a great basis for the future. Back in the centre, Micken gets the tap out. McIver down to Richardson. Richardson's kick is high, wide and handsome, and the siren sounds to end the second quarter here at Carrara, and the Demons have a stranglehold on the match. Demons 11-7, 73, Bears 4-6, 30.
Half-time here at Carrara, and at half-time Melbourne had a 6-goal quarter to lead 11-7, 73, a 43-point margin over Brisbane, 4 goals, 6, 30.
And here we are back at Carrara. They've made a lightning start to the second half as the ball is on the half-forward line. Stretch overruns it at the first occasion, but picks it up and gets it across to Hughes. Hughes gets the effective hand pass away to Lovett, and Melbourne out of trouble towards Lyon, who was held by O'Keefe, and Gary Lyon will take the free kick. Well, I was talking about your review of the first half, Ross Glendinning, but do you think the Bears can get back into this game?
Well, they're going to have to make some impression this first 10 or 15 minutes, Sandy, because they've 43 points down, having been 19 down at quarter time. They've got a long way to go.
Reynoldsson uses his strength to get it to O'Keefe, then on to Gastier. Wide to Roberts, who marks well.
The Lyon hasn't done his Brownlow medal chances much harm, has he?
None whatsoever. Towards the right half-forward flank, Hardy is there. And Brad Hardy, playing in game number 100, sends it deep and long. No mark taken, but Melbourne will get out of trouble, although Merritt is under pressure from Hughes. He pushes it forward. McIver then uses the body illegally, said the umpire. So the ball will be relayed back. And Tingay, a chance to get Melbourne out of strife.
Tingay's kick high towards the wing. O'Dwyer can't mark. Perhaps should have got his hands to it. McIver the tackler. Ball comes out the back towards Jeffrey Rains, and he can't control it. We'll have a boundary throw in, as on the opposite side of the ground, Sean White gives those hamstrings a good old test before his chance to return to the field. Now a chance for Bain. Bain goes off to Rains. Rains, beautiful drop punt, very direct towards centre half forward. The first to recover from the marking contest was Grinter. Grinter's sweeping hand pass finds Dersma. Dersma further afield, Lovett. That Melbourne defence works very, very cohesively, and his pass finds Yates close to the centre. The sweeping hand pass goes to Johnson. Johnson, defensive side of centre, kicks it long towards centre half forward. Out in front, Ischenko can't mark. Jackson, look at this man move over the turf. Ricky Jackson goes for goal and puts it through.
Back in the centre. 1 goal to Ricky Jackson. The main scorer for the Demons is Brian Wilson with 3. Ischenko and O'Dwyer. Healy eventually shuffles it out, but straight to McIver, who gets it on to Williams. The Bears looking to go forward to Rains. A hand pass over the top is effective. Ashcroft just chips short in towards half forward, finds Harris. Back to McIver. Is this the quick reply? He shoots, but he misses.
As soon as he kicked, Sandy, he knew he'd missed. It's a vital miss too. They're going to keep in this game. As I mentioned, they have to kick early goals. Melbourne got the first, so the task is ahead of Brisbane Bears.
He shouldn't have missed that.
Another chance going begging as Lovett marks in the back pocket. State player last week, Brett Lovett, and a good one to O'Keefe. Effective spoil. Waiting down in front is Dixon, sending the Bears up towards Hardy territory once again. Great use of the body by Brad Hardy.
How did he get it?
So he just eased.
He's a master.
His eyesight under the ball is set on replay here. Just a gentle nudge at the right time. Kept his arms down though. It's clever play. Didn't push with his hands.
I just looked after the mark was taken as to where umpire Cameron was. Perfect out to the side. Obviously saw no interference. And finishes up with Hardy.
So Brad Hardy still looking for his first goal. And still. Not his day. How many behinds has he got, Ian?
Well, I've only got him down for 2, but
yeah, same here. Yes, 2.
So he hasn't had many opportunities.
No. Kick back into play down towards Rains. moving swiftly, centres the ball to Ishenko, who just gets it away in time to Williams, who flicks a long flat punt in towards Hardy again. Well spoilt by Lovett. Towards the boundary line goes Brett Lovett. He spoons it back in and keeps it in play. Danny Hughes was running through the back and takes it now. Comes with a long kick up towards centre wing, but O'Keefe is there and marks well for the Bears.
O'Keefe now looking to kick it fairly direct over towards centre half forward. No mark taken. Demons, if they can possess here, will be in business at centre half back. Yates can't break away. Rains, who's played pretty well for the Bears, holds the ball in and will have a bounce between centre and centre half forward for the Brisbane Bears. They're 4-8, Demons 12-7. Steins over the top. Newport hand pass out the side. Yates goes off to Healy. Healy to Eichel. Bain in there for the Bears. Good play by David Bain. He was one out and did it pretty well. The kick towards centre half forward. No mark taken. A scramble. Phoebe out the back, but umpire Cameron sees a free kick. Advantage is now paid. The kick goes towards centre half forward. No mark taken. He's the first to recover. Gary Lyon overruns it. First mistake for the day, but he recovers well. Little left foot kick. Looking there for Dean. Dean gets a sweeping hand pass to Newport. Back onto the right foot goes Newport and pops it through ever so casually.
So Melbourne lead 13-7, 85. The Bears are on 4-8, 32. We're back in the middle once again. This time it's Bernie Harris who sends the Bears down towards half forward. The bounce is not a good one, but Phoebe traps it nicely. He's played well. Wide towards Tingay.
Good mark there by Tingay in front of McIver. And we spoke in the second term about this youngster. Very promising type. He's kicked towards centre wing. O'Keefe and Lyon. But the ball is helped over the boundary line. So we'll have a boundary throw in on centre wing on that outer side. Difficult to tell at Carrara whether the wind is really favouring either end. But the flag's certainly blowing towards the end at which the Bears are kicking in this quarter. Merritt's hand pass goes back to Williams. Williams drop punt kick to the square. And there's a good mark. Has that been paid? Mickett? No, play on. Well, I thought that was a fair mark, Ross.
Yeah, umpire Goldspink has missed a few decisions today, and that marked for mine should have been played. As we said on replay here, good use of the body by Micken. For mine, that's considered a reasonable amount of time as he went down.
Well, perhaps didn't quite control it, but the umpire has decided to bounce in the square. A big punch away, a ball comes wide. Now a chance for Dixon, he overruns it, goes after it again. Stretch doing the tackling. Attempted kick off the ground by Bernie Harris was rather crude. He goes in again to grab Danny Hughes around the neck. But I think a few seconds before that, the umpire had picked a free kick out, and it's going to Jim Steins. So Steins is in the back pocket. A little short chip. Finds Phoebe. Hand pass over the top, finds Grinter. Grinter trying to give himself a little bit of space. The kick is ill-directed. The mark taken by Micken. So the big Brisbane Bears captain gets the hand pass off to Gastev. Gastev with the torpedo punt kick. Goes direct towards full forward, but a good mark taken by Phoebe, who will be challenging Gary Lyon for best on the ground, I would think. Lovett's kick out wide finds Wilson, and Wilson takes the mark. Just steadies the Demons down a little bit. Short pass and Stretch ridden into the ground by Dixon, but Stephen Stretch ever resilient to take his kick at half-back.
32 plays 85, favouring Melbourne as Rains spoils from behind. Gastev waits down. His hand pass intercepted by Newport. Quickly onto Steins. A short kick to Wilson. Melbourne go forward. Brian Wilson, he's picked out Eichel beautifully. Have to get his kick quickly. He was pushed by Jeff Rains. Rains is not impressed.
Yeah, so the push was there. The umpire let it play on. Eichel certainly took his time. You see on replay here, the push did come from Rains just as Eichel kicked the ball. A bit ticky.
So Simon Eichel with his 9th kick for the day, looking to send Melbourne even further ahead. The drop punt looks pretty good. It's got the distance, and there is another one to the Demons.
Well, they've been pretty methodical, the Demons. They lead by just under 10 goals. And one would have thought that they haven't got out of second gear. But there they are again, scrambling hard at that centre bounce. Can't break clear. And umpire Cameron will bounce once again. Micken, O'Dwyer. Been a great struggle on behalf of Mark Micken against the two big Melbourne players in Steins and O'Dwyer. Now the ball comes out wide to Wilson. He gets the hand pass out to Stretch. Stretch running. Look at him go, Stephen Stretch. And now kicks at 45 to 50 metres, right out in front of Warren Dean. And Ross Glendinning, you are happy with that bit of play?
Well, Stephen Stretch could have gone for another couple of bounces, but the right thing. Dean led early. He did the right thing, and a fine kick from Stretch.
Dean's kick is a little wobbly in towards full forward. Richardson gathers and somehow shrugs the tackle. Comes to the members' side, Mike Richardson. Kicks long. Roberts at the back can't mark, but he taps it out to the advantage of Bain, and Bain will take the ball away for the Bears. Kicks it in towards Merritt. Good kick by Bain. Merritt gets the hand pass off to Ashcroft. Ashcroft around towards full forward. Ischenko can't mark. Punched away by Dersma. Hardy. Ischenko. He can't break clear. It comes to the back. Ashcroft. Left foot shot for goal is a good one.
Well played, Marcus Ashcroft, the young fellow for Brisbane Bears. Followed up his second possession from that first contest. Brad Hardy did the right thing, used his body well. Ischenko got rid of the ball very quickly. It was Ashcroft who ran down the ground, having kicked the ball up there in the first place. Gave himself another chance and a good left foot goal.
He made a very, very promising debut against Fitzroy a couple of weeks ago, young Marcus Ashcroft. I know he's been on the verge of senior selection, but started the game today on the interchange bench and is doing pretty well in this third quarter. Sean White and John Howard on the bench for the Demons, and I'd suggest that maybe Sean White is having a little bit of trouble with that hamstring. The ball goes towards centre half forward for Melbourne. Williams gathers for the Demons. Now Bernie Harris. Kick around the corner towards centre half forward. Johnson. Left foot kick by Alan Johnson. Not too bad. Goes up towards the centre. Stretch. Flicks it out. A real struggle in that centre area. Micken's hand pass is well smothered. Now the ball comes back to Merritt. Merritt's high kick out towards the wing, and the mark has been taken by Bain. Bain in the play now. Kicks towards centre half forward. At the back, Ischenko can't mark. Struggle now by Dersma. Gather by McIver, but the umpire has made his decision. I'll ball it up at centre half forward for the Bears.
Peter Knights has made a change. Rod Lester-Smith into the forward line. Mark Roberts to full back on Warren Dean.
Fisted wide. Wilson has the run. Gets it away to Tingay. Floats it high towards line. He's got to beat two, and he won't. Jeffrey Rains, too good. On to Reynoldsson. From half back, Steve Reynoldsson floating a punt kick over the head of Richardson. He'll keep it in play. Gets away from Yates and looks to centre it. Williams coming over the top. He's a courageous player, Mark Williams. And he marks. Short to McIver. McIver to the 50-metre line. Touched by Stretch. He's covering an enormous amount of territory. He brings it into the interchange bench, much to the delight of Sean White, who is standing there. And we will see a throw-in.
It's the ability that Melbourne have to have players be able to run like that in such a big ground. Stretch bouncing down the other side, this time contesting on the opposite side of the ground.
O'Dwyer and Micken lock arms. Micken wins it down to Dixon, who goes to the 50-metre line. Merritt beautifully claimed by Hughes. Johnson leading Ashcroft. Does well as he spears one to Wilson. Lester-Smith went all over the top, but he got it out to Williams, who pushes it out in front of Harris. He's claimed by Wilson. Merritt lends support, gives it to Richardson onto the left foot. He shoots in towards goal, but he's missed. 1 point to the Brisbane Bears. We move to 5-9. And since half-time, the Bears have added 1 goal, 3.
Mike Richardson has a bit of a fetish for kicking goals, and his left foot could very well have turned one extra step and kicked with his right.
Melbourne, on the other hand, have added 3 goals. As O'Dwyer goes for a kick off the ground and misses. Tingay does well. He gets clear. Kicks over centre. White chasing Rains. Oh, and Sean White got a decent old shove out. Suppose you could call it shepherding. Richardson dummies nicely, and Gastev has a bounce. Gastev in towards half forward, and it's marked by Lester Smith. So Rod Lester Smith advances his chances almost. He's kicking from 55, and it's not a good kick. It is going to drop well short. Ishenko goes over the top. And Stephen Phoebe says, I won't bother about running out. I'll just pop it over for behind.
Poor play there by the Brisbane forwards. They all stood still and watched.
Danny Hughes perhaps being beckoned by the umpire to hold up just one more second as the goal umpire completes his duties. Danny Hughes kicked towards centre half back over the top, nearly the mark to Lester Smith, but stretches there, quick to grasp the opportunity. His kick out wide, Newport can't mark. He slips over now to the advantage of McIver, but Steins, brilliant interception by the big fellow. And can this guy play football? Jimmy Steins towards centre half forward. Marking contest. Phillips can't take it. Greg Healy helped out with the stretch shepherd, but the stretch shepherd was deemed illegal, and Phillips will take the free kick. Transfers play to the opposite side. Gastev takes the mark just wide of centre half back. He plays on quickly. Left foot kick towards centre wing. Bain leading Yates. Yates closing quickly, but Bain slips the tackle, gets the long hand pass into the pocket. Now a chance for Bernie Harris. Bernie Harris, a short pass, and it was fairly poor, to say the least, because Danny Hughes took a pretty easy mark, and Danny Hughes will kick the Demons temporarily out of trouble because his kick was smothered. Now the pacey Jackson gets the hand pass to Lovett. Lovett's hand pass finds Grinter, and now the Demons are out of trouble. Grinter, slipping over was Tingay. Chance now for Lester Smith. He's caught, but he gets the hand pass out the back to Dixon. Dixon short kick at half forward. The mark has been taken by Ashcroft. Ashcroft in towards full forward, a little too high for Hardy, and it goes over for a boundary throw in the right forward pocket for the Bears, and they perhaps should have made a little bit more of that, Ross.
Yes, a bit of an inexperienced kick there for Marcus Ashcroft. He really didn't give Brett Hardy any chance, and now he's coming off the ground and will be replaced there by Chris O'Sullivan.
51 points, the margin, is the throw in. Merritt trying to get away. Hughes with him. Danny Hughes will hand it over for another bounce to umpire David Goldspink. Ishenko using the right hand. Jackson can't take it. It ricochets away to David Bain. He's well claimed. Pushed wide towards Tingay. Dixon chasing. He gets a short kick. It travels probably 10 or 15 metres before going over the line. So some 9 minutes remaining in this third quarter, and the Bears not making any impression. The Demons have increased their lead, 14-7 to 5-10. Yates on the outer side, flicking it up towards Sean White, but beaten as Rains comes clear. Let's fly with a beautiful long kick down towards Ishenko. O'Sullivan just on the ground battling for it. They all come in over the top. Danny Hughes gives them a bit of a respite as he gets off, and we will see another bounce. The phone getting plenty of use on both benches. 25 metres out from the Bears' goal. Ishenko again with the left hand. Trying to palm down, but no one able to get it clear. A bit of a stalemate on that outer side at the moment. And another bounce.
That Melbourne defence has cut Roger Merritt out of it pretty well, haven't they? He's been very, very ineffective.
Well, they're all prepared to do a job, Ian, which is the vital thing in the defence. They're prepared to sacrifice their own game and just cut their opponents out.
Merritt kicked 2 goals early on in the first term, but since that time, very little. Now, Rains can score from here. Great looking kick, but he's off target. And another behind.
The difference between the two sides, when Melbourne go forward, they've got space players, run out of the congested area, give their teammates a chance, goes forward for the Bears, and it's very, very congested.
Now here's another opportunity for Melbourne to get out of defence a little too easily. Dersma took the kick in, kicked it up towards centre wing, but it's been forced over by the player there, Mark Williams. Brad Hardy jogging back to towards the forward line. Boundary throw in. just slightly forward of centre wing for the Bears. O'Sullivan gets the hand pass out to Harris. Harris, who always gives plenty for the Bears, he's kicking towards full forward, and there's a great mark taken by Micken as Warwick Kappa has a bit of a look on. Micken very undecided, now forced to kick a shocker straight across the face of goal and thumped over the line by Sean White. Boundary throw in the opposite forward pocket.
Well, that's a very, very poor example of how to kick a football by a state player, captain of their side.
Look confused, Ross.
Oh.
So he goes now for the ruck contest with Jimmy Steins, and it's forced over for another boundary throw in. And perhaps that's indicative of the Bears. You know, they really they don't attack it with a lot of confidence.
Just not good enough, though, Ian.
Over the top, Micken. O'Sullivan with a chance for Merritt. His hand pass, though, goes to Newport, and Newport's clearing kick out over the 50-metre line. Wobbling awkwardly towards the boundary line. A chance there for Gastev. Hard up against the boundary line. The hand pass goes back to Hardy. Hardy short pass in towards centre half forward. No mark. Richardson out the back to McIver. McIver's short pass is okay. Harris, that's Bernie Harris, shot for goal. Eventually, the Bears score a goal. Greg Healy. So back now into the centre, and the Demons 14-7. Bears 6-11 with just less than 6 minutes to go in this third quarter.
Yates gets the handball out. Flicked high. McIver. Onto the left foot, but the kick partly smothered. Ishenko swats it on. Harris comes to meet it. Loses it. O'Sullivan gets it out nicely towards Gastev, who can run the flank. Better be quick. To Raines. Over the top again. This looks promising. Bain centres it. And centres it well. I think Lester Smith lost that in the sun. And eventually the Bears lose the ball.
Through frustration.
Phoebe to the outer side. Yates stands his ground and takes a good mark. Plays on wide. Stretch was off just a little too soon. Dixon up early. Almost shrugged the tackle. Gets it away to Phillips, but he's claimed and he's lost it. A great tackle. So Graham Yates will take it just forward of centre wing on the outer side here at Carrara.
Not a bad player to have starting on the interchange bench.
The half forward. Lyon over the top. Williams, a hurried kick, almost thrown out towards Roberts, who kicks over the centre looking for Merritt. With him is Hughes, and it's Hughes who recovers the quicker. Leaves it for White, who soccers it back to Yates again. There are players loose on that half forward line. One is Newport. He goes long now in towards full forward, looking for O'Dwyer. Comes steaming out, but can't take the mark. The hand pass comes the way of Williams, then Roberts, and now the Bears out of trouble. He lumbers through half back with a couple of bounces. Kicks over the centre, but just past McIver. The mark taken by Johnson. He floats it towards the boundary line. Grinter will not be able to keep it in, and so he'll have a throw in.
Ross, that was a shocking kick by Roberts.
Well, Scott McIver had run 15 metres initially toward him, then ran backwards, ran as hard as he could. The kick just very, very poor. Gave him no chance whatsoever.
There's the throw in. That son is playing havoc out there at the moment. Jackson. Roberts again. A long hand pass into the centre space. Harris does well. Beats three of them. Gets it across to O'Sullivan. On to McIver. Out comes Hardy. Good play.
And a pat on the back there to Bernie Harris.
Yep, he was the one that did the hard work initially to get it out. Now Brad Hardy still looking for his first goal. From 55 metres he gets onto a torp. It's a lovely looking kick. Touched over the line. And so a throw in to take place in the right forward pocket. The Bears desperately chasing goals. From the throw in, there's a snap off target and one behind by Micken. So Mark Micken's contribution, 2 behinds for the day. As the Bears move along to 6-12, they trail Melbourne 14-7. And here goes Melbourne once again on that outer side. It's Lovett. as Stein's going past. Jim almost stops to a walk and then just chips wide, looking for Healy. It was flicked over the back. It passes line. O'Keefe goes back now. On to Brendan Phillips, who snuck away from Healy. Kicks up towards centre wing, and Dixon is there to take the safe mark. Into half forward, and a good mark taken by Merritt. Roger Merritt. Too far out to score. Goes into the pocket. Sean White trying to spoil, but unsuccessfully, and Rod Lester-Smith will have a shot from some 40 metres out. Pretty tight angle.
Still much better play there from the Bears. Someone leading. Merritt not trying to just bomb the ball to the square. Kicked it to position.
Kick from Lester-Smith looks pretty good off the boot. A goal.
Just over a minute left in this third term. Melbourne 14-7-91, lead Brisbane 7-12-54. Ball comes out of the centre. Roberts can't control it. Gastev just gets his foot to the ball. It comes free to McIver. McIver's short pass across the ground. A good gather there by Lester-Smith. It's a pity they didn't have two. One up the back and one up the front, because he's a really good player, Lester-Smith. O'Sullivan off to Richardson. Richardson into an open goal. Can this be another one? Yes! And the Bears supporters go berserk.
And only because the Bears are looking more positive. Ian called it. Rod Lester-Smith has played some good games for centre-half forward. I remember him playing a couple of very good ones there for Hawthorn, kicking 5 and 6 goals from centre-half forward. And it would be handy if they did have two of him. And he certainly made a bit of difference there in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
And Mike Richardson, always a damaging player, kicks his first goal. Brian Wilson in the picture, marking Mike Richardson. So back in the centre, the Bears have got just a slight run on. They've kicked a couple of quick goals. They trail by 31 points. Here come the Demons. Healy to Wilson. Back it goes to Healy. He's fumbled badly. The ball at centre-half forward. Shrugging the tackle there was Tingay. The ball goes up towards full forward. The Bears are a chance to clear. Gastev's hand pass over the top. Reynoldsson back to Gastev, and Gastev handles it pretty well under the pressure there. Bain gets the hand pass off to O'Sullivan, and the Bears out of trouble because O'Sullivan's kick is brilliant, and it finds McIver at half forward. So the Bears in a bit of a rush. McIver's kick swings around in towards centre forward. Lester-Smith can't mark. It goes over the back now for Stretch. He fumbles badly. And the ball at centre-half forward as the siren sounds at three-quarter time. Melbourne lead by 31 points. They're 14-7-91. The Bears 8-12-60.
Three-quarter time here at Carrara. Melbourne leads, but Brisbane has started to close the gap. They trail by 31 points, 14-7 to 8-12, and a much better quarter, Ross, by the home side. Well, the shadows start to lengthen as we go into the final quarter here at Carrara. (8-12) plays 14-7. With the Bears just getting a little bit of a run on in the closing stages of that third quarter. Through Newport it goes. He soccers it out of McIver's hands. It lands with Johnson. Alan Johnson is clear. Goes onto the right foot. Trying to centre it. Beautifully picked up on the half volley by Howe. Takes his own hand pass. Then puts one out in front of Grinter. Onto the left foot he goes. Down towards the left half forward flank area. But David O'Keefe is there and marks solidly in defence. O'Keefe going back towards the outer wing, where Ishenko is jostling with O'Dwyer. At the bottom is Tingay. And the free kick has been plucked out of that. Will go the way of Ashcroft.
Ashcroft's kick towards centre wing. McIver pushed out of it by Newport. Danny Hughes, punch. Now a chance for Melbourne to get clear through Wilson. He goes back to Hughes. Hughes' high kick goes about 30 metres in towards the centre. Gathered by Ashcroft. Now the hand pass back to Bain. Bain's left foot kick towards centre half forward, and the mark has been taken by Richardson. Richardson perhaps not quite up as far as centre half forward. His kick out wide. There's Phillips, not Phillips, Harris rather. Harris's shot for goal is good.
Well, they got away with that, Ian. I was going to be critical of Mike Richardson for going wide on his left foot, not giving Bernie Harris much of a chance. That is, in fact, his second goal, and he did very well there to come around, make good use of the not such a good pass. Got around Brian Wilson quite easily, and then Wilson slipping. A good kick there. Just made the distance very well, bit of shepherding done there by Mark Micken.
The Peter Knights there looking on anxiously, and always a positive thinker, Peter Knights, and perhaps, well, 2 quick goals and anything could happen here. The Bears usually come home with a wet sail. Williams, kick out towards the wing. Gastev, kick off the ground. And he did pretty well there, Johnny Gastev, because he was 1 against 2, Stretch and Yates. And at least he saw the ball safely over the boundary line.
Margin is 25 points, and that's the closest they've been in this game for a long, long time. Here's the throw in at centre wing. Yashenko jostling with O'Dwyer. Tingay doesn't get it, but O'Dwyer does. Up to half forward. Lyon loses it in the sun. Grinter sweeps a wide hand pass to the running Stretch. He's on the boundary line, and he's put it out of bounds on the full. So if the Bears can get the next goal, it could make things very interesting.
Yes, football's funny like that these days. Only 4 kicks in it. And it's easy to kick quick goals, isn't it?
Yeah, they're only 19 points down at quarter time.
Back towards O'Dwyer and Yashenko it comes. Phillips slips, but he gets the hand pass on to Richardson. They've got the players running now. This is Gastev, gets away from Jackson, goes up towards Merritt. Almost interfered with. Hardy, oh, he gets out of jail, Brett Hardy. Goes onto the left foot, a little chip will be good. He finds Harris. Harris on the boundary line, dummies nicely, goes short again, back to Hardy. And this could be Brett Hardy's first goal for the day.
A little bit of good fortune there. Brad Hardy's kicked to Bernie Harris initially, not quite finding that play. If in fact he had it marked, he may have to go on back to have a shot. Elected to come around Stephen Phoebe. Now Brad Hardy a chance to shoot for what will be his first goal.
2 behinds to date. Hardy shoots. He's got 1 behind again. Well, this is unlike Hardy. He's usually dead-eyed Dick.
Yes, his opportunities that he does get, he converts pretty well. The kick in has been taken there by Lovett, and Melbourne out of trouble. Oh, there's a push in the back against Roberts. Very, very blatant. And umpire Goldspink in perfect position there. So the free kick to be taken by Dean. Look at this kick. That's not 65 metres, but it lands in the arms of O'Keefe. So the Bears a little fortunate. O'Keefe's kick is wide. Goes through the legs of Rains. He's able to just get a short kick. Stein's quick to swoop on it. Richardson overruns it. Wilson in there. So is Reynoldsson for the Bears. The umpire will come in and bounce. So the fans, for the first time this afternoon, given something to shout about. The Bears 9-13-67. Demons 14-7-91. And we've got a bit of a game on our hands. Yashenko and O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer's kick around the corner into the forward pocket. The mark has been taken by Reynoldsson. He plays on quickly, gets the hand pass off to Phillips, and Phillips's kick out wide goes through Harris. Harris goes after it again. His quick kick, it's McIver rather, up towards Harris now. Harris has the ball, Ashcroft. Merritt goes after it again. The ball comes out the back to Dean. Dean's caught with the ball. And swooping on it is Brenton Phillips. He kicks into the forward pocket. No mark taken. The ball comes out the back. The pressure on the Demon defence. It's young Phoebe. Phoebe goes back onto the right foot. Kicks it in towards centre half back, and a mark has been taken by Jackson. The Demons a little fortunate.
So Ricky Jackson to the outer side. Grinter plays on. The handball over the top to Dean. Long again in towards half forward. Lyon the target. O'Keefe at the back does well. Richardson gets it out somehow to Rains, who sweeps it wide to David Bain. Clear of Tingay. He short passes towards Phillips on centre wing. Can he recover in time to keep it in play? He's got a free kick for a push. So the Bears have come to life. Mark Roberts, it was a poor kick. And he goes into the back of his opponent. It's Rodney Grinter. Grinter long towards half forward. Good mark taken by Reynoldsson. Goes back to Rains. A high kick, difficult one in the sun. Stretch does well. The players calling for it short. That's the way it goes to skipper Greg Healy. Maybe too far out to score. Lyon gives him a lead. And it's a good one. So Gary Lyon will have a shot some 45 metres out, almost directly in front. This for a steadier for the Demons. They've been given a bit of a shock in the last quarter or so. Gary Lyon has 2 goals to his credit, one kicked in the first quarter, one in the second. He had to weather the storm in that first half, coming back, but not enough. And another behind on the board for Melbourne.
I was going to say, Rossi was quiet in that third quarter, Gary Lyon, wasn't
yes,
he?
Maybe. In fact, Keith did quite a good job on him, man.
So the kick in for the Bears goes out wide to the outer half-back flank. Bernie Harris out in front of Jackson. Harris's kick towards centre wing. Newport keeps his footing well. The hand pass over the top to Healy. Healy goes back to Newport. Newport with a chance to steady. Kicks it long towards the front of the square. Now the race is on. Or overrunning it there badly was... it's a kick off the ground by Lyons, a goal.
Clever play there by Gary Lyon. He was under a bit of pressure from 3 Brisbane Bears defenders, and as he saw the players bend down to pick up the ball, quickly socketed it off the ground and put it through for a goal, making amends for that miss earlier on, and it certainly was the steady they needed. They were only just, they were still leading by 4 goals. That just gives them that added advantage and takes a bit of the sting out of the Brisbane Bears attack. So you see it here on replay, a very quick kick as Brenton Phillips overran the ball, and very cleverly done by Gary Lyon.
Certainly lets you know when he's done something good, doesn't he, Gary Lyon? Thank goodness he put his hands in the air. 15-8 plays 9-13. Back in the centre now. Push out, and the free kick has been picked out. It's going to Melbourne. It'll be taken by their skipper, Greg Healy. And the Demons seem to have the answers each time that the Bears mount some sort of an attack. They can get a steadying goal. It goes to the back. Chance for Richardson. Richardson streaming through half-back. Kicks it wide towards the wing. There's no one really out there. McIver trailing Newport, and Newport just playing it along in front of himself. Boundary line too close, and we'll have a boundary throw in on centre wing with the Demons leading 15-8 to 9-13. And we've got 16 3/4 minutes left in this last quarter.
And Ian, it's interesting, many of Melbourne supporters were talking about a percentage game today, and Melbourne, of the 5, certainly do have an inferior percentage. They have a percentage prior to today's game of 101.8. And those clubs just behind them, Essendon has 120.4, and Collingwood, who are playing today, have 119.1. So they would certainly be keen to build if they can. O'Dwyer's kick is partly smothered. Newport goes to ground illegally, and so he will take the kick. Yes, there are no certainty of the double chance. And Ross, I believe, a pretty stiff run home.
Oh, yes, they have. They play Geelong, Carlton, Hawthorn, Sydney, Essendon in the last rounds of the game, and they are going to have a very tough run.
Stretch. Still going, Stephen Stretch. And eventually gets a free for his efforts for a push in the back.
Very fair player, Stretch.
Best and fairest winner. Out to Grinter. To half forward once again. Lyon unable to mark. Wilson shoots in towards goal, and bang, there's another one for the Demons.
So back at Carrara, a couple of steadying goals. 16-8 lead Brisbane Bears 9-13. And perhaps they've put the issue beyond doubt. The ball struggle now in the centre. Ischenko, who's been a very disappointing player. Jackson streaming straight down the field towards full forward. Punch away there by Roberts, overrun by Wilson. Chance for Grinter. Richardson looking for the free kick. trying to bluff the inexperienced umpire David Goldspink, but he's not having anything of that. I'll bounce it, he says, right on that 50-metre line at centre half forward for Melbourne. Steins and Ischenko, and a bit of rugby stuff there by Mark Williams. He couldn't quite get it out to anyone. Umpire will be forced to bounce again. Young John Howard on the interchange bench there. Looks like Graham Yates with him. Ball comes out to Rains. Rains kick from a standing start. He's done a pretty good job for his side. And Johnson, always a regular contributor for Melbourne. A long kick by Johnson towards full forward. Chance there for Dean. He overran it. Grinter took it. Oh, that's got to be a free kick, surely. Play on now. The advantage rule paid. Phillips at half back for the Bears. 3 bounces. Comes up towards centre wing. No one really to kick it to. He drops it in short. Overrun by Lester Smith. Fumbled by O'Dwyer. Tackle by Lester Smith was a good one. Kick off the ground now by Sean White. He overruns it, but he's able to just tap it to his own advantage. He gets the hand pass out to Johnson. Johnson looking for someone to kick it to further afield is good. Wilson off to Steins, and Steins streams goalwards. Kicks it towards full forward. No mark taken. The ball comes out the back. Roberts. A little fumble by Roberts. He gets the hand pass away now. It goes over for a free kick because that was a blatant punch over the boundary line by Mark Roberts. And a free kick will go to Melbourne.
Yes, no options there at all, Ian, so could have kicked perhaps, just dribbled along the boundary line, but straight over the top with a handball.
Lyon's short pass just betters the angle for Warren Dean. Perhaps a little closer, but certainly the angle much more comfortable for Dean. Dean has kicked one, runs slightly to the side, thumps the drop punt and hits the post. Great to see Dean back in this Melbourne side. He certainly adds a bit of flavour to their forward line. They've struggled up forward for most of the season, and he will certainly be an advantage leading into the finals.
Back into play once again. Reynoldsson can't mark it. Comes out the back to Gastev. Bounces his way clear. Then goes up towards the left half forward flank. Towards the boundary line with Ashcroft and Johnston. And Ashcroft does well. Senders it in towards Lester Smith.
You read that well. Again, the experience. Sean White jumping very early, but Rod Lester Smith kept his feet on the ground. And a nice kick from Ashcroft, who steadied and gave Rod Lester Smith a chance.
So Lester Smith looking for his second goal. He shoots and he makes no mistake. Melbourne leads 16-9, 105. Brisbane 10-13, 73. We're back in the centre with umpire Goldspink. And a perfect bounce for Ischenko and O'Dwyer, who gets up high. But it's Bain who sends the Bears forward to Lester Smith again. Short pass to the 50-metre line. Harris marks. Plays on. Got to get past Phoebe. Goes on to the left foot. Senders it, looking for Gastev. Finds it. So Gastev will have a shot directly in front. Some 40 metres out.
Well played by John Gastev. Just used his body a bit. Just a gentle shove. Eyesight losing his footing a little.
This for the 11th for the Bears. He snuck it through.
Well, John Gastev's worked fairly hard today. He's made a few mistakes. He's had plenty of touches of the football. He has to have a few of his teammates. Perhaps not use the ball as well as he can. He's a very skillful player. But on that occasion, using his body well, marking well. Good kick coming from Bernie Harris, who's featured in the last couple of plays and finished off very well.
Ross, a question, I don't know whether you can answer it quickly, but they seem to kick maybe 2 or 3 goals and then they can't stop the other sides from coming back.
Yeah, they appear to say, well, we've kicked a couple, we've done a little bit of work, let's just sit back and watch for a while. They can't persist, they can't keep going as they should.
So they're still in this game, they're making a real battle of it. They trail by just 26 points. Chance for Stretch to run onto it. 11 minutes left in the game. Kick now forward for Melbourne. Here's a chance for Jackson. Unselfish hand pass Wilson. Again unselfish. Over to Steins and Melbourne goal.
That's been a bit of the trend of the day. Brisbane Bears kick a goal or two, but Melbourne always have the point of mind just to steady, mental toughness just to be able to reply at the right time. That's perhaps the thing we're looking for before. As you see the replay here, some very unselfish play, as Ian called. Handballs coming from Jackson through to Wilson. But the Brisbane Bears players, Ian, just don't have that toughness to know that you've got to keep going. You can't be happy just with a couple of goals. You've got to play good football for 4 quarters, not just for 3 or 4 minutes.
So what we think could be just a little bit of relaxation on behalf of the Bears is apparent once again as Steins kicks a steadying goal. 17-9, plays 11-13 with 10.5 minutes left in the match. Chance for Healy, but a free kick has been picked out of it. And it's going back to Mark Williams. Mark Williams in the centre, kicks it out wide. Good kick too. Tremendous kick to the advantage of Bain, and Bain running with the flight of the ball, marks it half forward, kicks it in towards centre half forward. Gastev can't mark. There's a chance for Merritt. Goals!
Bounce, and they've got to be that all the way through. Melbourne's had the advantage through Steins and O'Dwyer, but their smaller players must be more aware of their opposition.
Well, let's see what happens this time out of the middle. Dwyer won it, but straight to Williams, out in front of Harris again. He's snuck away from Phoebe, or has he? He's pulled off the ball and should be free kick. Peter Cameron lets play go on, and Melbourne may get out of trouble to Stretch just on the defensive side of centre. Stephen Stretch kicks long, sending Melbourne towards Gary Lyon. He has to beat 3. It's fisted wide. Jackson has pace. Bain works hard. Socket off the ground by Richardson. Towards the centre. Merritt a chance. He can flick it across to Harris. Harris will go long in towards half forward, pulling it wide for Lester Smith, and he marks inside 50. Got a couple of players running loose, but he's going to ignore them. And he's going to have a shot. Rod Lester Smith. It's not going to have the accuracy. Was that mark inside?
The goal umpire's allowed it, Sandy.
So Roger Merritt on a very tight angle. We'll have to try and bend this one through. Unless there's something better offering. Back to Lester Smith. This time he's got a snap. It's coming back. Has he got it? He has. 20 points the difference, just under 8.5 minutes. Enough time for the Bears if they're good enough.
Well, we've seen some tremendous finishes up here at Carrara, and the Bears keep their fans, supporters really on their tips of their toes. Now it's Williams getting the ball out again. Yates running with the ball now. Graham Yates back onto the left foot, kicks it wide towards centre wing. Eichel in short, mark taken by Wilson. So Melbourne going forward. Wilson's kick in towards half forward, mark taken by Greg Healy. Sweeps around onto the right foot, the man marking, not good enough. Healy's kick lands in the arms of Gastev. Gastev has a player in the centre. It's marked by Phillips. Phillips round onto the right foot. Williams on his own, centre wing. What can the Bears do with this one? In towards centre half forward. No mark, it comes to the back. Lester Smith, is he creative or what, this man? In towards full forward. No mark. Scramble for possession. Hardy flips it out. Was that a throw? Ashcroft. Bernie Harris to the front of the square. Yes, it's a mark to the Bears. McIver, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, exciting stuff here at Carrara as McIver takes the mark just 11 metres out directly in front.
And a fine contest earlier on at centre forward by Roger Merritt, surrounded by 3 or 4 Melbourne players, knocked the ball on, but what a great mark to Scott McIver.
Held his ground very well there, Scott McIver, and at the second grab, pulled it in. This could make the difference, just 14 points. And he does.
Just over 6.5 minutes remaining. The Bears are closing the gap. What happens this time out of the centre? Pushed wide. Johnson may get the run. Williams will try and stop him. He's working desperately hard, and he's got the free kick.
And he's got it out the last 3 times, Mark Williams, too.
Desperation.
Tackle too high. Williams towards half forward. Oh, stretch with the one hand. Plays on. Lyon. Back in defence. Goes to Grinter, who's got a player loose up forward. Dean is on the half forward line on his own. Warren Dean. Short looking for Steins. And when Melbourne go into attack, they appear to make it look easy, whereas the Bears, Ross, really work hard.
Yeah, they do. They're very congested all the time. I mentioned through the game that the Melbourne forward line is far more open, giving their players an opportunity to run into space.
Well, Steins. Can the big man put through a steadying goal for Melbourne? They've just gone across the face. Did it go through for behind? The two umpires confer. And one behind goes on the board.
All very dramatic, wasn't it?
Very dramatic indeed.
Well, it's a bit of a saver too for the Bears.
97 plays 112. Reynolson on the outer side. Into the shadows. He kicks wide. It must be very difficult for those players out there now. That ball is still just in play. Now it goes over. But the important thing as far as the Bears are concerned, that they have it in their attacking zone. And John Northey looking a little concerned. There's Micken and O'Dwyer. Hammered over the top. Healy close to the boundary line. McIver chasing him, but he gets it away to Jackson. Jackson goes up towards the half-forward line. Reynolson at half-back marks. Called to play on. Steve Reynolson shoots one into the middle and finds David Bain. Almost catches Brendan Phillips unaware with a hand pass, but he gets it going now. Bain again as he goes over the centre down towards half-forward. Merritt gave a decent old shove. Ashcroft is there to help Merritt. Still they battle hard for it. Dersma gets it out, and it's a chance for Melbourne's Phoebe to clear with a steadying kick to centre wing, where the mark is taken by Warren Dean.
So Dean swings around onto the right foot and kicks it 55 metres up towards the 50-metre line. The punch away gives the opportunity to Richardson. He flips it out wide to Roberts. He'll be tackled by Eishold. Just gets the hand pass away to Phillips, but he can't get there before the boundary line looms up, and will have a boundary throw in, half-forward flank for Melbourne. So the Demons leading by 15 points with just under 4 minutes left. Here come the Bears again. Harris's high kick close to the line. Yates takes the mark in front of Ashcroft. If he hadn't, it probably would have gone out on the full. But Yates, a short pass is good. Lyon. And Melbourne bringing their experienced players up the field. Gary Lyon noticeably got a kick just a few moments ago at centre half-back.
Oh.
And look at the kick. Lyon's 60-metre torpedo punt kick. The ball comes down towards the goal square. Rains under pressure from Wilson. Richardson. Steins has tackled well. The umpire elects to ball it up right in front of the Melbourne goal. It's about 25 metres out in front of the Melbourne goal. They lead by 15 points, and the time is ticking away for the Bears. But certainly they've made a game of it when it looked to be pretty one-sided at half-time. Phillips gets the ball out to Gastev. He fumbles. They argue about it. Phillips, now Johnson for Melbourne. A left foot shot by Johnson. Misses to the right.
So you're very lucky there. A couple of Brisbane Bears players, Brenton Phillips and John Gastev, fighting over the ball there in that scrimmage. Once you let the other go, in the end they just hung on for too long and really paid the penalty there with Alan Johnson.
Kick in. Comes towards stretch, but it's a good mark over the top taken by Reynolson. The hand passes on. O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan's short kick. Lester Smith. Sweeping hand pass into the centre. Micken. Micken out wide. Running onto the football is Merritt. Inside 50 metres. Hand pass over the top to Hardy. He slips the tackle. Onto the left foot goes Brad Hardy. And misses to the left. Just sneaks in for a behind. And the Bears, maybe they needed to get a goal out of that one.
Just over 2 minutes remaining. Has not been Brad Hardy's day in front of goal. Back into play with Hughes, and Micken comes over the top, thumps down straight to Johnson, however. Richardson will mark this at centre. On to Rains. Oh, look at him get through beautifully. Gives it to Mark Roberts, to Micken. They've got to go long and direct now towards Hardy again. Well fisted away, however, by Lovett towards the boundary line. It beats players over. And a throw-in to take place with under 2 minutes remaining. 15 points in it. Ishenko with the left hand. Swept away, however, by Yates. Goes right across the ground. Stretch and Phillips having the race. Stretch is quick. Oh, he's had a fresh air shot. It could open it up. O'Sullivan now with a chance. Pushing the ball along. He gets clear. Gives it across to Bain. David Bain's got a couple loose. Over the top. Williams under pressure. Gets it back again. McIver will have a shot. He goes onto the left foot. Shoots in towards goal. But it is offline. And 3 for 1 behind.
Very late rush, isn't it? I bet Peter Knights will be saying, now, why couldn't they have played like this earlier on?
Danny Hughes. With under a minute remaining. Lyon will just push this forward. He's not showing a great desire to keep it in play, but he does gather valuable distance.
And very noticeable that John Northey has brought that guy up into defence to play the last few minutes. I don't think he's worried about percentage at this stage.
No, but they're going to hang on. There's only 30 seconds or so remaining. But they've certainly fought their way back, the Bears. O'Dwyer off the ground towards Grinter, but he loses it to Rains. A high kick. Standing his ground is Healy, and he takes them out. Has Jackson wide on the wing. And suddenly Melbourne slowing proceedings down. A little bit of keepies off, but it doesn't matter. It's all over. Victory to the Demons. Yes, well, the mascot can laugh, but I don't think he'd be laughing too heartily after Melbourne at one stage had a lead of just on 10 goals. And the Brisbane Bears, to their credit, have come back very, very strongly. Ian kicking some 10 goals in the second half. 10 goals to Melbourne, 6 in that second half.
Yes, I said before the game it was going to be their defence that might worry them, and allowing the Demons to get those easy goals earlier certainly put them under pressure. And perhaps even Brad Hardy, if he may have been able to capitalise a little bit better on his opportunities up forward. But they can walk away fairly comfortable with a great performance against one of the top 3 sides.
So just repeating the final scores here at Carrara. Melbourne 17-11, 113. Brisbane 14-15, 99.
And the Bears came home with a rush in the final quarter here at Carrara, but just too late. The final scoreline showing Melbourne 17-11, 113. Brisbane 14-15, 99. Just looking at some of the main goal kickers in the game today. Firstly, for the Demons, Brian Wilson finished the day with 4. Gary Lyon booted 3. They were the main contributors for Melbourne. Simon Eishold kicked 2. Whilst for the Brisbane Bears, Bernie Harris, Rod Lester-Smith and Roger Merritt each contributed 3 goals, with Rod Lester-Smith certainly making a difference. Much for those comments, Bill McDonald has made his way down to the Melbourne rooms and has sought out skipper Greg Healy.
Well, Greg, a 14-point win there to Melbourne, but I'd say I wouldn't be all that happy with the performance towards the end of the game there.
No, very disappointed in the last half. I thought we set up for a good win in the first half, and we were looking forward to a big percentage boosting win, and we fell away in the last half, so it was pretty disappointing.
How important was this win today? Looking at your end of the season, you've got a fairly tough run home. How important was the win today?
Well, first of all, we wanted to get the 4 points, but the way the competition's panning out, we really needed percentage, and we came up here to, first of all, get the 4 points, but then secondly, we wanted a big percentage boost, as I said, and you know, we were pretty disappointed in that especially the last quarter where we fell away a lot.
Anything you can put your finger on there to sort of the solution to it?
Well, you know, we've had this problem for a while now. We've been trying to work on it. Maybe the heat, you could use that as an excuse, but I think we've just got to get a bit tougher on ourselves and really grind aside when we get in that position, so I'm not giving any excuses at all.
Well, it's pretty quiet in here after a win. John Northey had a few words to say. What was the message from him?
Well, much the same. You know, he was happy with the 4 points, but we do need the percentage, and he was disappointed that we didn't go on and crush the side as we should have.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
Good on you, mate.